Welcome to ANR Solver question 8 of this paper. So for part A, they are asking us to write down the probability that the number of dots on this card is an even number. So they are telling us that Donald chooses a card at random. So the probability that the number of dots on this card is even would be equal to 4 by 5, because out of the 5 cards, which is the total number of cards, 4 of the cards are even. Therefore 4 by 5, or you would have a probability or a chance of 4 by 5 to pick an even number card. Now let's move to part A2. So for part A2, they are asking us to write down the probability that the number of dots on this card is a prime number. So let's first count how many prime numbers there are. 3 is a prime number. A prime number is a number that's only divisible by itself and 1. So 3 is a prime number, 2 is a prime number, 2 is a prime number, and again 2 is a prime number. So there are 3 2's, so all of the 3 2's are prime numbers, and the 3 is also a prime number. So there are a total of 4 prime numbers. So again, or once again, the probability for picking a prime number would be 4 by 5, because there are a total of 4 prime numbers and the total number of cards are 5. So 4 out of 5 chance you have of picking a prime number. Now let's move to part B. So for part B1, they are asking us to find the probability that the total number of dots is 5. So the only possibility of getting a 5 as a total of picking 2 cards without replacement, that is very important, without replacement. So the only possibility of picking 2 cards that have a sum of 5 would be 3 and 2. So the probability of picking a 3 would be 1 by 5, because there is only one 3 out of 5 cards, multiplied by the probability of picking a 2. So there are 3 2's, but the total number of cards have reduced by 1 because we have already picked the 3. So therefore the probability of picking a 2 now would be 3 by 4. Now this is only for one of the possibility. What if you pick a 2 first and the 3 second? So you can either multiply this by 2, or you can show that you pick the 2 first, that is 3 by 5, multiplied by the probability of picking the 3 second. So that would be 1 by 4, because the number of total cards have reduced by 1 because you've already picked 1 2. So 1 by 4 would be the new probability of picking a card with 3 dots. So now all you need to do is simplify this working. So 1 by 5 multiplied by 3 by 4 is equal to 3 by 20, plus 3 by 5 multiplied by 1 by 4 is equal to 3 by 20. And therefore you will be left with 6 by 20, because 3 plus 3 is 6. And you can reduce your answer to 3 by 10 by dividing both the numerator and denominator by 2. Therefore your final answer will be 3 by 10. So as I said before, you can either show your working like this, or you can simply multiply, or you can show either one scenario and multiply it by 2. So you wouldn't have to show this part. So you would simply multiply this by 2. You can do it either way. Now let's move to part B2, where they are asking us to find the probability that the total number of dots is an odd number. So to get an odd number, and again we are picking 2 cards without replacement. So to get an odd number, we have to pick the 3 at any cost. So either you could pick a 2 as well with it, or a 4. So there are 2 scenarios in this where you pick a 3. So the probability of picking a 3 is 1 by 5, multiplied by the probability of picking a 2, that is 3 by 4. Because the total number of cards have reduced by 1 because you already picked the 3. And you can do this any way, like you can pick the 2 first, or you could pick the 3 first. So you multiply it by 2. Now this is not the only scenario where you can get an odd number. You can get an odd number even if you pick a 3 and a 4. So we have to even show the probability for that. So if you pick a 3, the probability would be 1 by 5. And if you pick a 4, the probability would be 1 by 4. Because again, you've already picked the 3, so the total number of cards would reduce by 1. And you could pick the 3 first or second. So again, you multiply this by 2. Now let's simplify this. So 2 multiplied by 3 by 20 plus 2 multiplied by 1 by 20. So let's simplify this further. So you can cancel the 2 and 20 because 20 divided by 2 is equal to 10. And therefore you'll be left with 3 by 10 plus 1 by 10, which is equal to 4 by 10. And you should always simplify your answer. That's what we did in the previous question as well. So if you divide both the numerator and denominator by 2, you will be left with 2 by 5. My bad. You will be left with 2 by 5. Therefore, 2 divided by 5 will be our final answer for part B2 of this question.